Welcome to KNuggies. In this short video, we're going to install Python and run a program that prints hello world. So the first thing to do is just pull up a terminal on your system. I'm going to be using VS Code, which is my code editor, and I tend to use it for terminal applications as well. And we want to type Python -- version just to see if we have Python installed, and it's not found. So what we want to do is go over to python.org, and we're going to download Python 3.9. Python 3.10 brings some great features for type hinting, and if you're completely new to Python and you won't be doing any projects anytime soon, it's fine to do Python 3.10. But if you know you're going to be doing some machine learning projects or downloading and using code from other sources, make sure you find a compatible version. For me, I know that I need Python 3.9. So the way to find the version that you need is to go to downloads all releases, and now you can browse the different versions that we have here, and you can see the release versions. And I know that I'm good with Python 3.9.13. I've already tested this with my projects, but there's a good chance that you want 3.10.4. All of the other steps are the same. It's just which one do you want to click. Once you get to the version that you want, scroll to the bottom and it's going to show you the files. We know we want Windows Installer 64-bit. Don't do the 32-bit unless you know you have a reason. This will break a lot of stuff. There's a lot of things that won't run in 32-bit because they just don't bother supporting. And every major system right now is 64-bit. So we've downloaded it, and then all you have to do is run this executable. If you don't have another version of Python, you can add this to the path. I want this to be my default version of Python. This is what I'm always going to use. I'm going to check this box for add to path. If you're on Linux or some other system and you had another version of Python, so at the terminal, if you showed another version of Python here, you may not want to add this to your path, and you may want to just use it. For me, I'm going to add it to the path and then click install now because the rest of the default settings are fine. Okay, now that that's done, we can click close. There are very good online tutorials, and then the documentation should serve as your primary reference for Python. So you may want to check these out. What we want to do is go back here and check that it installed properly. So that actually worked without opening a new terminal. It's our lucky day. What happens a lot of times is you may need to actually just exit out of this terminal. And then what you want to do is open a new terminal and then check for the version, and it'll display properly. So what we want to do now is make ourselves a new file. So since I'm using VS Code, I can type code, let's just call it hello.py. So the .py file extension is what Python programs are written in. And all we want to do is just type print hello world and hit Control S so we can save it. You can come down here to the command line and you can run it from there. So we could do Python hello.py, and we see our output here is printing hello world. Now a lot of times when I run my program in VS Code, I want to just push F5. You need to make sure that you have the interpreter selected down here. So we do need to select our current version or our current environment that we're going to be running Python from. And then I push F5 to start debugging, and I'm going to run this Python file. And then it actually opens up a terminal and runs it for you. So you don't have to select the file every time. You can create a launch JSON. What this is going to do is just every time you push F5, this is going to be the configuration that launches, and all of the defaults are fine until you have a reason to change things. So now every time we push F5, it's going to run this program in debug mode. And that's really it. So we're ready to get started using other things in Python. Be sure to subscribe to see the other short, easy to consume facts about programming in Python and other languages.